Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and today we're going to talk about how you can get better at controlling the distance when you chip. If this is your first time to this channel, welcome. This channel is all about helping you play better golf and lowering your golf score. And there's nothing like getting better at chipping to lower your golf score. If you like the video, give me the thumbs up by hitting down the bottom there. And if you really want to subscribe, you can click the subscribe button, hit the bell notification. That way you're notified of every golf tip as I release them every week. So chipping need not be as hard as what a lot of people think it is. In fact, it's probably the fastest way to lower your score. Most people tend not to chip, they tend to hit mini pitch shots. Chipping is short for a chip and run, or chip shots are short for chip and run. People forget the run part. And they're thinking Phil Mickelson, from here, this is probably about 20 odd yards away, but the edge of the green's only 4 paces away. So people are thinking, I've got to hit and I've got to loft it up there. And you can do that. Phil's amazing at it. Most people don't have the same level of skill as what Phil Mickelson has. So I think there's a much, much easier way. So what I always try and do in my process for chipping is I always say to myself, where is my spot? My spot's always about 2 paces on the green. So if I get a golf tee out, so I've got a golf tee here, I go 1, 2. So that golf tee is roughly 2 paces on the green. So I'm just saying to myself, okay, what do I need to land where that golf tee is? And I picture a nice area around that golf tee to give myself a little bit of room for error. Then when it lands there, how much is it going to run? If the ball needs to run a long distance, we need a 5-iron, maybe even a 3-iron or a hybrid. If it's got to run a short distance, we would chip with a sand wedge or a 9-iron. I like the odd clubs, so I'm very much a sand wedge, 9-iron, 7-iron, 5-iron, 3-iron or hybrid kind of guy. What I've discovered is if we can land the ball in the same spot every time with each of those clubs, my sand wedge will roll X. My 9-iron is going to roll around about 10 feet further than my sand wedge. My 7-iron will roll 10 feet further again, my 5-iron 10 feet further again, and my 3-iron or my hybrid 10 feet further again. So that's covering a lot of ground. But the whole thing about this is we're trying to land the ball in the same spot every single time. So around about where that golf tee is. So just to put that to the test, I'm going to start with my sand wedge. And we don't want to get too wristy when we chip. I like to have reasonably soft hands, but we're trying to eliminate as much wrist action as we possibly can. So I'm not going for the flag stick at the moment. I'm purely going to land the ball around about where that golf tee is. So I have my ball just very slightly back. I used to have it off my toe. I've changed my opinion there. We want it almost the same as a putt really, but it's just a fraction, another inch further back. Hands pretty neutral, just ever so slightly forward, not like that. And I don't want to see the club coming up high off the ground. I really want this to be shallow, both sides, no real wrist flick. We're keeping our wrists out of the shot as much as we can. So we'll see how I go, trying to land it about where that tee is. And I'll draw a line on the screen there to sort of give you a bit of an indication. So that's landed on the tee pretty well, and the ball is rolled a little bit. So you can't stop using a little bit of wrist, but we just don't want excessive. A little bit's okay. So that was with my sand wedge. If I go to the bag and look for my 9-iron, and we get another golf ball out. So my length of swing really should be the same as the last one. It shouldn't change because my landing area is still exactly the same as it was before. So I'm using the same length of swing, the same tempo, and I think it's good to have a reasonably slow tempo. Most people get way too quick, but we just want it nice and smooth. And here's an interesting note. The putting tempo and your chipping tempo should pretty much mirror each other. So we'll see how I go with this one. Once again, I'm not going for the flag. I'm going for that golf tee, and we'll see what happens. That landed really well next to the tee, and that ball has gone on around about 10 feet further. So if I pull out my 7-iron, and I try and do the same thing, nothing changes. Same length of swing, my landing area hasn't changed. It just becomes a little bit more difficult to land the ball in that same area when I've got less loft. But it's okay, I've got a bit of room for error. Same length of swing, the same type of swing. We will see what happens. Landed pretty much the same spot. And of course that ball has rolled a lot further, so that's around about another 10 feet. So we're getting it closer towards the hole. So now I will use my 5-iron. Same again. This one should end up reasonably close. So that's landed on the same spot, and this one has rolled up reasonably close to the flag. So with me using the same swing every single time, I've been able to hit balls different distances, which is a lot easier than me having the same club and using the same club. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use my 50-degree wedge. So now for me to hit this where I want it to go, I've got to land this ball about halfway. So before I was trying to land the ball 6 or 7 paces away from me. So the closer my landing area is to me, the easier the shot. Now I have to land it about halfway. Now I'm still going to be doing a pitch and run. I'm not hitting one that stops dead, but this is going to land about halfway and run up. And I can play that shot, but I think this other method is a lot simpler. So we'll see how I go with it. And of course now I am using my wrists a little bit. I am creating a little bit of wrist hinge. I'm not trying to do it too much. I'm just softening the hands and allowing the club head to move. So that's landed about halfway, and that's gone up, and I've hit a really good shot. But I'm above average skill, so I can play that shot. If you're above average skill, that might be the way to go. But I think you'll find most people that aren't above average, it's much easier to keep it along the ground and let it run. So the final shot I'm going to play here is with my lob wedge. The Phil Mickelson special. We all really want to play this shot, but this is a low percentage shot. You have to be awesome to be able to play this. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm awesome. I'm pretty good, but I'm not awesome. I'm not in that category. So now I have to really use a longer swing. The longer the swing, the more things can go wrong. The more precise I have to make my contact. And I've got to land this ball up about a flag stick short of the hole in the hope that it's going to stop. So we'll see how I go with it. This may make me look an idiot. So I've hit that pretty well. It's a good day today. But that shot is so risky. It looked good, it's a great result, but I really wouldn't play this shot ever, unless I had to, if there was a bunker in the way, but in this case, nothing's in the way. Really easy. I can pretty much guarantee I'll get out here with my 5-iron most times, and even if I mishit it, it's still going to end up a lot safer than a mishit with my lob wedge. That was okay. Finished up quite nicely, but I can do that more often with my 5-iron than I can with my lob wedge, and that's with me with above average skill. So get out of here when you can, get out on the course. At the moment, you may find that you can get out on the golf course, you can't play in competitions. Perfect time, put a few balls down. There's no one out there. And just put balls down, practice with different clubs, see what works best for you. But I find this works really well. Keep it along the ground, let it run, much, much easier. Your bad shots get much better, and that's the aim. You don't necessarily want to hit the best shots, of course you do, but you want to hit the best bad shots. So when you hit a really bad shot, if it's going up inside 10, 12 feet, that's a good result. Thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.